In this lecture, we will look at the filled map and the 3D map. We have two examples. The first one has 17 states in United States. And in the next one, I have a list of different countries as well as different states in those countries. So overall, we have 1128 different states that we are representing around the world. Let's start with the first one. I will select my data, go to Insert, Maps, and then select a filled map. And you immediately notice that Excel is smart enough to detect using Bing search that all of these words that I have is representing a state, and that is what it is plotting on the map. Now imagine that you had another state here, let's say a New Delhi with 100. Now the moment I add New Delhi, of course you would not be able to see it because it's very small, but let me do one thing. Let me increase the number here. And let's also create a few more cities here. So we have, let's say, Kolkata, we have Mumbai, and we have Chennai. We'll add some numbers as well. So as you can see, this time it is supposed to represent both my United States as well as India, but it is not happening. At the top right corner, you notice there is a information box, and it says that it has plotted 86% of the locations with a high confidence. Now you might be wondering, why was it not able to look at the other states? Let's try to do it once again. We'll create a chart and then convert this into a map. Again, you notice it does not work. Now this is a problem with maps on Excel. Maps on Excel are not really supposed to be very smart. So if you have states in one country, they're able to pick it up. Or if you have multiple countries, they're able to pick it up. But the moment you have different states in different countries, it gets a little lost and it doesn't really know what to do. Now one option here is to select all the states, go to data, and then convert the data type into geography. And you notice that each one of these has been converted into a geography data type. And this time it is able to identify which country do all these states belong to. Once you've done that, you can again go back, create a chart, go and change the chart type to a map, right? And again, you notice not plotting correctly, right? Not to worry. This is exactly why we use something much more advanced, which is again in the Insert tab called the 3D map. Now, even though the maps are there, as you can see, maps are very, very limited in scope and they have a lot of areas where they create a problem. So I would always recommend that you use the 3D map. If you don't see the 3D map option on your Excel application, you can go to File, go to Options, select Add-ins, select the second option, which is COM Add-ins, and click on Go. Once you've done that, there will be an option called Power Map, and you will have to put a tick mark. You have to select this option. Once you do that, the 3D map option should appear in your chart option. So let's try this with the first one. So I'll select the data. We will go to Insert and 3D map. I already have something saved, so I'll remove that. I will create a new tour. Now this time you immediately notice that if I rotate my globe and I come to India, do you see the small dots? It does not have a problem. It is able to detect all of these different states. Now covering 3D maps will be like a 1 hour lecture, so I will not explain every single thing to you, but just explain and give you a very high level overview. Now in the height, we want to keep the sales value. So we get a column for each one of these states. You also have different styles available. So we can make a heat map, we can make a bubble. The one that I personally like is the last one, which is a filled area that looks like this. Let's quickly see if it is working properly. Okay, as you can see, We can see the filled area here. We can also zoom in and out of the map. If you want to turn it into a flat map, you can convert it into a flat map like this. And if you want to convert it back, you simply click again and it turns into a globe. The zoom option and the panning buttons are available at the bottom as well. If you want to show, let's say, all the country, watch this. I will remove the state. I will keep the country here. Remember, here we are working with the next data set, this one. So I have all the countries that I'm showing here. In my value, we will keep the sales amount. And finally, in, you know what? In fact, that should be it. So as you can see, we can see a list of all the different countries and states with us like this. Let's do that once again. Let me cancel this. We will select our data properly. Go to 3D map and do it from scratch. We select a new tool. What do we want to do? In our location, we want to add, let me see why the options are not coming correctly. Okay, that's strange. Let's just quickly try this once again. So I'm selecting my data and we want to click on insert and 3D map. Let me remove the one that I already have. Let's select a new tone. Okay, I think it's working. All right, excellent. This time we notice we can see a small dot for every single state in the world. If I don't select the state and the country, it shows us all the country like this. And if I want to add something to my height, I can put the sales value. And this shows me a column for every single country like this. Very cool, right? If we want to convert this into a different type of visualization, we can make a heat map or we can make a filled area like this. All right. Now, the other cool thing here is that you can also do a Control F to search for a specific area on the map. So if I press Control F and I type India, it automatically zooms in to India, right? And if I say even a specific location, let's say I say Brooklyn, it will automatically locate Brooklyn on the map. Remember, it does not use Google Maps, it uses Microsoft Hair Maps, and it uses TomTom navigation for this. But you can even see this as a street level. Like I said, I'm not getting into a lot of detail right now, but 3D maps are very powerful. Even if you have data sets for postal codes or zip codes, it will have the ability to plot that data for you, right? So in this lecture, I showed you how you can convert the data type into a geography, but always prefer to use a 3D map over the normal map because the regular map that you have might not work properly, right? I will give you one suggestion. If you try to keep India as the country and I put it here and I keep, let me do that once again. And if I keep United States here, we can select everything, go to chart and then select a map. Now in our case, it is not working, but remember there is a possibility that sometimes the result will still work, right? So you can give it a shot. Like in my example, it did not work, but sometimes when you give the country name as well, the maps seem to work. But again, the fact that you have the 3D map with you basically means that the map is almost obsolete now because the 3D map is much more powerful and it will allow you to do and create a map however you want.